Good morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. I woke up today and it looks like the Paradox developers have dropped a brand new patch for Hearts of Iron 4. So I just wanted to cover that. I've got a live stream after this so we can check out the update after we review the patch notes here. Let me just get this up on my Discord. Get the word out. I know this is kind of a surprise stream, but it was kind of surprising to me when I woke up this morning that there was a new patch. So I just wanted to review it with you guys on the live stream. See here, OBS looks like it's working well. Okay, so everything looks like it's up. Let's dig into this new patch for Hearts of Iron 4. And I think that there's going to be a video as well. Okay, so War Effort, Operation Source 1.12.7, checksum B738. So they're using some... I don't know if this is new artwork. It looks like there's a Confederate flag over the ship here. Just quite interesting. Yeah, that definitely looks like a Confederate flag. Hello, Generals. The war effort continues with Operation Source. Today's operation has set sail with a new focuses, balance changes, and of course, bug fixes. When they say new focuses, does that mean new focus tree? Yeah, Source was an interesting choice, Doctor. Thanks for coming to the live stream. We now sail towards a new operation, which we will be sharing more information about in 2023. But until then, we wish you good fortune in your conquering adventures. You can find the patch notes unchanged from the open beta version below. Okay, so let's go through that. But first, I think that there is going to be a video tutorial about how to roll back your game mode. I had done this probably 2 or 3 years ago. I just want to check out what they came up with. It's going to be pretty short, I think.
Hello and welcome to this quick tutorial on how to backdate your Paradox game. This accounts for incremental steps and works on Steam, but it requires you to go to the Paradox website in order to comply with GDPR. So first up, you need to go to accounts.paradoxplaza.com/games. It's appearing on your screen now. I will also put this in the description of this video. You'll be asked to log in. However, I am already logged in and it will bring you to this game screen. If once you log in, you get taken to your account screen, just re-put in that URL and you'll get here. Next up, you want to scroll all the way down to the bottom and you want to go access earlier versions. This will give you the codes to access earlier versions. You can then simply copy one of these, go to your Steam, go to properties, go to betas, enter a beta access code, and you will have the old version. Hello and welcome to this quick tutorial.
Okay, so that was fairly interesting there. Go back over to here. So it looks like if you go on Paradox, the Paradox website, basically you can roll back your version that way. So I had no idea. That was very informative. The way I used to do it before was go into Steam and then go under betas and then just roll back the version that way. But maybe you can go like back, like way back to updates that have been years ago. So that's really good information. So let's get into the patch notes here. And we might be able to see a few of these in the live stream that I'm going to be doing in 45 minutes. So hopefully this doesn't go over. I guess it depends on how long the patch notes are. So getting right into it, we have balance. Italian decisions expand regional control in Ethiopian states, no longer require any Ethiopian legitimacy value. Okay. I haven't played around with that yet. Ethiopian legitimacy value. Was that to try to slow down Italy? I'm not sure. Canadian focused dollar a year men now grants a national spirit with negative 33% political advisor cost. The exchange rate of dollars to political power is poor. Okay. Canadian Focus Bits and Pieces program has gained an extra bit and piece, now granted 4% industrial and dockyard output from 3%. So I can't remember if Canada has its own focus tree, but is this in preparation for the next DLC? I'm not sure. Canadian focuses that grant army experience now grant significantly more of it. So they're trying to buff Canada, which should buff the allies. I'm pretty sure it's a Axis meta right now. Fascist Canada now has the choice to offer concessions to the United Kingdom in return for Labrador and Newfoundland, which will be more likely to be accepted. Tooltips added for conditions leading to higher success chances. So you can. It looks like they're going to make Canada an offensive fascist nation. That's interesting. Ships transferred as part of a peace conference action no longer have crew included. Ship experience is reduced to 25% of what it was before the transfer. Okay, that makes sense. So maybe you have prize crews and reduced to 25% of what it was before the transfer. So when you get the ships, they're only going to have a quarter of the experience. So that makes sense because, like, in my last build as Greece, I was getting like English ships with like full XP, and that was pretty kick-ass. Like, you could take a miner and definitely be fairly formidable if you're able to like cap the allies. Together for Victory gave Commonwealth nations focus trees. Okay, so that was a very long time ago. You could tell how many times I played Canada. Maybe they're going to rework Together for Victory then? Or maybe they just wanted a fascist Canada path to buff fascist Canada, but it kind of doesn't make sense because they're in the Commonwealth. Australia has an additional shipyard focus. Each shipyard focus unlocks one of the naval designers, and naval designers' traits are rebalanced. Okay, so buffing Australia's Navy. All Australian focuses granting army experience now grant between 5 and 10 times more. Okay, so yet another buff to the ground forces of Australia and Canada. Australian focus Naval Auxiliary Patrol now grants 5% core defense factor from 3% and 10% naval experience gain. Experience gain from naval focuses increased slightly. So I guess this gives a backup if in like multiplayer, UK gets Sea Lion, Canada and Australia can still have game impact because of these buffs, and they could still have a fairly decent navy and perhaps counter the Sea Lion. And with these buffs, maybe it will be necessary to Sea Lion for Germany to get a W. Australian arms production focus now grants negative 10% infantry equipment build cost in addition to civilian factory conversion speed. Okay. Added a new focus for Australia, Coordinate Central Bureau, which adds 2 signal company research ahead of time bonuses and a description bonus if La Resistance is owned. War score contribution from Lend-Leasing fuel and equipment roughly tripled. War score malice from receiving Lend-Lease remains unchanged for now. War score contribution from Lend-Leasing fuel and equipment roughly tripled. So they went back to this. War score malice for receiving Lend-Lease remains unchanged. So this was the thing I thought they took out of the game. So if you wanted to just participate in a war, all you'd have to do is contribute equipment and oil to whoever was propagating the war, and then you would actually get war score. So that's something to note. I could have done this for the Macedonian build if I had sent a bunch of, like, I don't know, fuel or whatever to Germany. That would have given me more war score when we invaded Italy. So that's something to keep in mind. We could get a little extra war score if we Lend-Lease. War score from capturing a province for the first time increased to 4 from 3. War score from IC damage reduced by 20%. War score from IC damage. So IC damage is like destruction of troops or whatever. So what I noticed was I initially sea-lined with Greece and I couldn't cap UK. I took the capital 5 times and I still couldn't cap UK. So maybe they're attempting to roll back that mechanic that perhaps they nerfed. So now with the war score increased to 4 from 3, I would assume that it would work as usual. I did also destroy a lot of IC, but as Greece, I could not sea lion UK. It was pretty tough. France was still up, though. I think they capped France in the end, and UK was still up. So I don't know if it's harder. The game is definitely more challenging than it used to be, and it looks like they're trying to make it a little bit easier again. Okay, so for all you Far East players, Menguko now has a starting core on Ordos. This does not come with free Ixian technology. I have no idea what that is, brothers. Taking occupied states in peace conferences is now considered considerably cheaper. AI is less likely to contest unoccupied states, though they still will if they have good reasons. Okay, that makes sense. I did notice that it was still pretty expensive to acquire states that I had occupied when I invaded Italy. As a matter of fact, I had sea lioned Italy and then brought Germany into the war. And in the peace conference, basically Italy was a puppet and Germany got the whole north of Italy. And I'm pretty sure that's from IC destruction. And capturing the provinces that I captured didn't really count for much. So the build that I just came out with, the Macedonian build, should work a lot better now because you're able to sea lion Italy and then you'll actually get more out of the peace conference. So this is a buff for miners. If miners can do like cheeky little naval invasions and things like that, they'll get more war scores. So that's pretty cool. Added 1 new Hungarian focus to construct a new flagship. I guess Horthy was a admiral. Accelerating potential naval growth a bit. Admiral Horthy can now complete his transcendence. I think that had been asked for a long time. That's hilarious that they finally put that in there. Good job, Paradox. Plane designer. Engine 2 speed reduced to 480 from 450. From 530 to 480. Engine 2 speed reduced. So is this on the different airframe types? So engine 2, I'm assuming they're trying to nerf the biplane here because you could put up a formidable biplane and stack it with whatever you needed if you got engine 2. So by reducing the speed of engine 2, you're not going to be able to stack as much equipment on that biplane, which means that the upgraded airframe is now even more important. And I think that this is like biplane versus airframe 2. the upgraded airframe. So as you can see, just that 30 there, I could stack on a biplane. I'm pretty sure I could stack on with engine 2 like 3 cannons. And then with engine 3, maybe it was 4. You can correct me in chat. But yeah, you could stack a lot of offensive equipment on a biplane, and that is modified by speed. So you're not allowed to increase weight over thrust. And so thrust is basically speed, right? So essentially, they're nerfing the smaller airframes with this update, which makes sense. So if you want like the small airframes to work better, I guess you got to go engine 3. That would be a way of getting around this, maybe. But it would be way cheaper just to upgrade your airframe. Hungarian aluminum production is balanced between Transdanubia and northern Hungary. Added 1 excavation decision to improve Transdanubian bauxite production, requiring Excav 2. Okay, nerfing the Axis yet again. Added a late game resource prospecting decision for tapping the Derna oil field in North Transylvania. So this is a sideways balance for the Axis. So now Northern Transylvania. So I'm assuming that this is Romanian territory that can be gifted to Hungary if you so choose. So is this balance because they're going to add Hungary into the new DLC? I'm not sure. Added a Hungarian focus for restarting the shipping industry, adding 3 dockyards in a coastal state. This should be our next live stream after my one today. We should like reform the Habsburgs or something. Reform Austria-Hungary and create a navy. And then if we took out like Italy or something, we could get an even bigger navy. This would be interesting. So now with the potential of Hungary getting more resources and oil, you could have a navy. Okay, Canadian focus retool Angus shops now grants 2 military factories from 1. Canadian focus United Shipyards now grants 4 dockyards from 3. Canadian focus Maritime Colonial Railway now grants 2 civilian factories from 1. Canadian focus Defense of Canada regulations now takes 35 days from 70. So huge buffs to Canada, massive buffs. Added approximately 40% more German random name possibilities. Added approximately 20% more English random name possibilities. I'm pretty sure that's for the different division names, ship names, battle plan names. I'm pretty sure that that's what that means. Added a new option when releasing nations. You can now choose to retain states upon which you have cores. Can now choose to retain states upon which you have cores. Retained cores can still be returned to the puppet through the occupation menu. Okay, I'm trying to wrap my head around this. Added a new option when releasing nations. Okay, this is awesome. So I can give back the pieces of a nation that are non-cored to that nation. Okay, this is what they needed. The option to just give back that which you definitely don't want. So you could do this as like Greece, for instance, with Romania, because we had this problem in the live stream. As Greece, I took out Romania, and then Russia wanted a piece. They wanted Bessarabia. And it was really hard. I started to give away pieces to like Ukraine and all these other nations. Just releasing off Bessarabia, I never was able to do it. So now what I could do is just keep the cores. That's all I wanted. And then release Romania and then let Romania deal with Russia. That's awesome. Okay, rebalanced values for the Sky supplies. Career profile metal to make it in line with new transport plane supply capabilities. Sky supplies. Career profile metal. Okay, so that's on their new achievement system. It's not part of Steam. It's in-game achievements. Make it in line with new transport plane supply capabilities. So it's easier to get this achievement if that's what you guys want. Okay, UI fixed carrier profile awards. View for mod achievements in case of long text. No idea, guys. No idea what that means. Sorry. AI now puts more weight on advisor competence rather than advisor cheapness, contrary to modern business practices. Okay, so I guess that's political power that they're spending. The AI is going to be smarter about how they spend political power. Some of the cheap advisors don't even do anything, to be honest with you. Fixed bug where AI gave super high score to the max command power and uncategorized modifiers while hiring advisors. Super high score to max command power. And uncategorized modifiers while hiring advisors. I don't know. I don't know what that one is, man. Okay, modding. I'm not going to know anything about this, but you guys could take a look here for you modders. Bug fixes. Okay, fixed unlocalized armored car technologies when researched via script. Hey, Raw. Thanks for coming, man. Fixed unlocalized armored car technologies when researched via script. I'm drawing a blank there, bro. Is that like when you research it via... So this is probably lost in translation. Console commands. I was having problems when I researched all via console commands. I was having crashes. So maybe that has something to do with that. I'm not sure. Reorganize Ascari with no longer add armored cars to division templates if law resistance is not active. Okay. So that's for a DLC buff. Fixed typo in balance of power tooltip when there are no modifiers applied. Okay, that's for Italy's balance of power, I'm sure. Fixed checking if a country is at war with someone in your faction. Also fixes add to faction effect. Hey, I was not aware that that was a problem. Ethiopian national spirit aid Ethiopian communists now shows proper localization. Okay. So they made it, they fixed the commie Ethiopia. Fixed wrong value for mobilization speed in the first range of the Italian communist side of the balance of power. Okay, more fixes to Italy. Random seed for the outcome of NKVD decision to assassinate Stalin is now dynamic. Nobody is safe. So making it dynamic for all you guys that are math nerds, does that mean that anyone could be assassinated? Or maybe it's just like a random event? Nobody is safe. So maybe it could purge a lot of different people. I'm not sure. I've never gone down this line. New divisions spawned by Italian decision train irregulars will now spawn when the decision finishes instead of when the decision starts. Okay, I wasn't aware of this decision. If anyone knows how to get rid of the Italian irregulars, I would love to know that information because they're kind of annoying and they're not that great. You can buff the Italian irregular divisions through focus tree. I know that, but it's kind of a waste of a focus. Fixed issue where Switzerland would not take focuses that require less than full cantonal power. Okay, decreased likelihood Switzerland will join the Allies or Axis late war. Okay, that's good. And the other thing that I noticed was that Turkey joined the Axis in like 43 in some of my Barb games as Germany. And what I was told was that Turkey actually joined the war in 1945. But you could see the difference there. 43 and 45 are completely two different war situations. So I'm not sure if that still happens, but it looks like Switzerland is less likely to join anyone. I don't think that they would join. They historically didn't join the war, so unless that happens super late. Cores for Menguko, but still no cores for Katowice or Poznan cores for Germany. No, I didn't see that. So I don't know if they need to buff Germany anymore. Germany is pretty buff now, particularly since Germany can get a navy if they just sea lion. Ask away, Raw. We're done with the patch notes. There's just a few more things to go over here. I have some multiplayer videos on my channel, but you're going to have to dig. You're going to have to go to my channel and probably type in multiplayer because the algorithm's not going to show you that because the main stay of Hearts of Iron 4 players are not multiplayer players. You just type in MP. Let's see what comes up. I guess nothing comes up. Or maybe I have to be under... You could also just Google it. I bet you it would come up this way. Is this... The functionality of this is like broken. This doesn't even work. Google. Dude, your search engine doesn't work. Okay, let's just go for... Check this out. Let's see what a Google gives us. Scumpy Dog. This is a year ago. If you want to know the HMM Italy, here's an Italy build for HMM. Dankus USSR tutorial. You could glean a lot of information. I just wouldn't... I would take everything with a grain of salt because that was a year ago and the tanks and everything are way different. This at the time was an excellent guide though. That was a really good trusted source of information. I haven't seen any Dankus multiplayer builds though. Yeah, you're right. There's not a lot of stuff here. Here's like a little thing on empty battle plans for you. That's a video that I have. Anyway, so I'll just Google it. So I had 2 videos that came up right away. Sorry, Raw. I don't know how much time they were in German hands. If Soviets annex Poland when you go for Molotov, Germany gets cores on Katowice and Poznan, but when Germany annex Poland, you don't get cores. Okay, so maybe it's like a historical thing. Those are huge cores for Germany. So I guess the meta should be that you have to do Molly Pact or you don't get cores on those territories. That's quite huge. It also slows down speed runs if you think about it, because you bypass Molly run, you bypass that focus if you speed run, and then you don't get cores, so it kind of slows down the speed run. That's probably why they have that in there. Not entirely sure. You play historical, then you get the goodies. Then Germany needs a little bit of a buff. Okay, let's check this out. This will be the last thing for this developer diary. Playing with mods. We know mods are a huge part of our community and the game. With that in mind, we've updated our available old builds to include Hearts of Iron 4 from before the War Effort initiative started. This means if your favorite mods is for some reason invalid with the initiative patches, you can backdate your game version and still enjoy Hearts of Iron 4 your way. To comply with GDPR, we've had to lock the access code to these branches on our website. But don't worry, we made a quick tutorial on how. Okay, we'll go through this again. Okay, so you could roll back your game to play mods. That's what that was all about. So let's check out this tutorial.
Hello and welcome to this quick tutorial on how to backdate your Paradox game. This accounts for incremental steps and works on Steam, but it requires you to go to the Paradox website in order to comply with GDPR. So first up, you need to go to accounts.paradoxplaza.com/games. It's appearing on your screen now. I will also put this in the description of this video. You'll be asked to log in. However, I am already logged in and it will bring you to this game screen. If once you log in, you get taken to your account screen, just re-put in that URL and you'll get here. Next up, you want to scroll all the way down to the bottom and you want to go access earlier versions. Access earlier versions. You can then simply copy one of these, go to your Steam, go to properties, go to betas, enter a beta access code, and you will have the old version. Hello and welcome to this.
Okay, so that's how to roll back the version of your game in order to play a mod. Okay, so Raw, like when I first started out in multiplayer, to answer your question, I didn't set up like spreadsheets, but I set up like notepad documents with the specific research slots and focus tree order. You don't need to do that after you played a certain nation like once or twice, because you just remember it. And it does get a little clunky having to reference something. So if you want to be good, no, you would not use a spreadsheet. For instance, like Dankus, from what I've seen on his live streams, is more of like a feel player. He has an idea of what he wants to do, and then you have to iterate upon what your opponents are doing. So you need to go hover over like your opponent's countries, right click, see what they're producing, see what they're trading for in terms of resources, and then you need to glean from that what your opponents are building. A big one, as Germany, you constantly have to go and check the air production of the UK to make sure that you're far ahead of it. And you can gauge how the game's going just based on UK plane production. You can tell if they totally potatoed or not. And then if their plane production looks good and it's early, you know you're going to have a tough North Africa. You may want to consider not going North Africa, for instance. So that's just one thing. If you want to be good at multiplayer, you have to adapt your build during the game. You're not going to be able to do a spreadsheet. If you're a miner, spreadsheets are great because a lot of the time you're just chilling. If you're an air controller like Hungary or Canada, you can't use you're going to be really busy. You could use like a spreadsheet for like early game to get the build proper. And then when you're in it, like when you're in war, you're going to have to just be like microing like mad. So yeah, it depends. The first time you play, you might need a spreadsheet. The second time, just have it up for reference or something like that. But the good players will not use a spreadsheet whatsoever. Maybe only if they're playing that game for the first time. Playing that particular nation for the first time. Okay, so we're going to wrap up the live stream here. I'm going to be back up with another live stream. So I've separated these two live streams out for the YouTube algorithm. But that was the Operation Source patch 1.12.7. And they're giving you capabilities to roll back the versions to Canada, Australia, and Hungary. So the next nation I might play after the Byzantine Empire today might be Hungary, just to check out if we could build a navy and what we could do as Hungary. I think that would be a lot of fun. Thank you guys for joining the live stream, and check out my YouTube content. I've got 4 different channels, and we're going to live stream here in a minute. See you on the next one, guys.